Hello students, I'm Himani Sharma, your educator. I warmly welcome you all on our YouTube platform where we in today's video are going to start with another theory that is really very important whenever the literary theory portion of your UGC NET English Literature exam is concerned. Right? So whenever we talk about a literary theory, we have different sorts of theories, and you know the differentiation between criticism and theory is somewhere or the other self-explanatory. The theory here, any literary theory, if you are having some sort of perspective, you know that अगर आप feminist point of view से सोच रहे हो, अगर आप post-colonial point of view से सोच रहे हो, the way you are going to interpret the works, you're going to unsolve them. You are going to uncover the mysteries which are hidden beneath the works, but keeping this thing in mind कि आपका point of view क्या है, right? So when I try to talk about the post-colonial theory, we also need to understand the basic differentiation between post-colonialism, on the other hand, post-colonial or post-colonial without a hyphen, right? So when I talk about post-colonialism here with the usage of a hyphen in here, a dash in here, it simply means that it is signifying the time period after colonialism. So when the British, colonies were not there, वो धीरे धीरे जा रही थी, the impact they were losing, right? And when the colonies which were under the British Empire, they were losing their impact in the colonies that they were already in. So उस time period को we know as post-colonial, right? With the dash in here. But if I try to talk about post-colonial without any dash here, or post-colonialism without any sort of dash in here, here I am trying to tell you the impact, right? The psychological, the sociological and physical impact as well, which when the colonies were not present here, when they left from the lands that they were colonizing, उसके बाद लोगों के mind के ऊपर क्या impact रहा है, right? The way they were treating the people, the way they were saying that these people that we are trying to civilize are the ones who are barbaric, right? And it's the duty of us British people here specifically, because British, they were the ones जिन्होंने larger part जो है उसको conquer करके उसके ऊपर colonies establish करी थी, right? So if we try to talk about it in that particular stance here, we understand that of course this particular thing without the dash in here, post-colonialism, it tries to signify the impact of the imperialism and colonialism का impact देखना चाहते हैं, right? What impact did it have when they left? But here, just for the sake of its, division of the time period, right? So I hope this thing is clear. Now, if I try to talk about post-colonial theory, we know that here the writers from, the impactful thing that I already talked to you all about, here we are going to see that the writers are going to see and talk about, the theorists are going to come up with the ideas that British log to chale gaye, but whatever ideas they have left behind, right? We wear jeans, we wear, t-shirts, etc. We color most of the times we color our hair, right? So we see that even if these things were not prevalent in the India, of that particular time period, but now they are. Because somewhere or the other, it has impacted the entire population where the colonies were ruling pehle, right? So it tries to analyze the legacies and effects of colonialism and imperialism on societies, cultures and identities. So this is what is post-colonialism without a hyphen in the very simple introductory sentence that I tried to introduce you guys to, right? So here they are going to see society कैसे shape हुई है British लोग के जाने के बाद, how the cultures have been shaped. Are there any changes pre and post-colonial time periods? How the identities are being shaped, right? So if any person was not living in India and came to live in India during the time of the colonial period, उनकी पुरानी identity and the new identity, right? And the travel exposure that they have brought along with them. That people in today's time, they go abroad, they travel, they shift, right? So here we are going to see theorists like Bhabha, वो हम लोग को concept देंगे hybridity का, right? He will give us the concept of hybridity, where we are going to see कि हाँ जी, what is hybridity? Hybridity is a mixture of things. कि अगर एक culture दूसरे culture से mix हो जाता है, then how? There is some sort of new culture that emerges with having the impact of both the cultures that were there at the first. Okay? We also will see terms like Orient, Occident as well. Right? So we will be talking shortly about them as well. Moving forward, it emerged in the late 20th century. Former colonies gained independence from the colonial rule. I already told you, British Empire, जब धीरे-धीरे अपनी colonies से, it was shifting away, it was drifting apart. The colonies were gaining independence. At that point of time, this particular post-colonial thing emerged, and later on theorists ने उन ideas को they have taken and they have analyzed the works of literature to see if there was some sort of hidden meaning behind them, right? It was influenced by the civil rights movement which happened, and also the global decolonization, where we see globally now the British Empire was, drifting apart, shifting away, as I am telling you, from their established colonies, right? And अगर किसी ने British, literature की history पढ़ी होगी, तो आप लोग को थोड़ा सा idea होगा that during 1800 something, we also see इसी point of time पे 1800s के आसपास ही we will see that the slave abolition act will be passed, and during this particular act, इसका मतलब क्या था कि अब slavery abolition act, slavery खत्म करनी है. And where the slavery was taking place, it was taking place in the colonized areas of the British Empire. So, dhire, there were other impacts, other effects as well from the other parts of the world, like during the 1700s, 1800s, when the French Revolution also happened, we see कि लोग और independence America को मिलेगा. So, we will see that how then people will be emerging to a field where they will be questioning the authority, and they would try to gain somewhere or the other their own sort of influence, their own rights to anything, right? So, I hope this thing is clear. Moving forward, there are many key works, out of which some are I have, highlighted in here: The Wretched of the Years by Franz Fanon, right? And Orientalism by Edward Said, right? It is a theory which critiques the colonial power dynamics. How? Through the power. And yahi pe Foucault ki terms and terminologies. Why do students are the ones jo thoda sa is cheez ko leke confuse ho jate hain ki how are the other theories also interlinked? Because here we are going to see that the theorists are going to somehow or the other merge the ideas of one another. So यहाँ पे जो आपने previous videos में देखा होगा, when I was trying to discuss Michel Foucault, I was trying to talk about his own self and the works, the ideas, the terms that he has given. We understand this thing, power dynamics की बात होगी. Advocates for the rights of colonized people to understand and challenge the Eurocentric perspectives that the European people have about us. जैसे मैंने आपको बोला, they used to think that the people who need to be colonized are the ones who are uncivilized, who do not know the way of the world, who do not know how to sit, eat properly, who do not know how to dress, right? But that was something which was some sort of exotic for them, क्योंकि इंडिया के बारे में उन्होंने अलग-अलग जगह से सुना होगा, right? So here we see Michel Foucault, Jacques Derrida, Jacques Lacan are prominent French thinkers often associated with post-structuralism, that I have dealt already in a field which is known by the name post-structuralism. So there's a video you want to check, you can check it out, right? Foucault's influence. Now, why am I talking about Foucault in here? Gayatri Chakravarti Spivak जो है, वो भी एक post-colonial thinker है. She will also take the ideas of Foucault and will try to see that how power works, right? And power के बारे में ही Foucault has also talked about in his own works. He gives us the terms such as episteme. Okay, what do we mean by episteme? Episteme means knowledge. Okay, power. He gives us a term, discourse. So he means discourse could be either in the form of a written or an oral format. Discourse के through power spread होती है and उस power के साथ साथ knowledge emerge होती है. The people know what they are reading and who will direct that? The person, the people in power. They are going to influence what the people are going to read, how the knowledge is going to spread, is what is the idea that is going to be, taken from Foucault here in the post-colonial context. क्योंकि यहाँ पे power में कौन रहे होंगे? The British people, the colonizers, right? So Foucault's ideas have had a profound impact on the post-colonial theory, notably through his concept of power. So he says, power is inherent in discourses. If I read something, अगर मैं एक prominent writer के बारे में पढ़ रही हूँ, right, I will see that that particular writer is writing the way he is writing because maybe उनके patron ने बोला है उनको ऐसे लिखने के लिए. Maybe he needs to have some sort of political influence during that particular time period that he is writing it. ठीक है, तो इस वजह से whatever he is going to now produce, any piece of writing, it will have some sort of power hidden beneath it, which are systems of statements shaping knowledge, how the people are going to consume that particular discourse. यहाँ पे थोड़ा Marxist tint आ जाता है, and social perspectives. On the other hand, he also tries to talk about power relations. He says that within these discourses, power operates, constituting and governing individual subjects through struggles and confrontation. So we will see that how, Raymond Williams will also come in the upcoming times where he will try to give us terms like dominant, emergent, residual. तो वो कहेंगे कि एक इंसान पावर में होगा, ये दूसरे लोग जो हैं उनको रिप्लेस करने के लिए आएंगे, and when they will be replaced in anything like that, there will be some sort of residue from the previous culture which will be left. That's why I tell you to understand these literary theories nicely, because somewhere or the other they are interlinked to one another. तो एक theory का अगर idea पता है तो ही आप दूसरी theory को समझ पाओगे, ठीक है? Multiplicity of force relations. He says फूको का जो कॉन्सेप्ट है उसमें आता है कि पावर में वेरियस रिलेशंस होते हैं विद इन अ स्फीयर, कॉन्स्टेंटली ट्रांसफॉर्मिंग एंड इवॉल्विंग. एंड एज आई हैव गिवन यू द एग्जांपल ऑफ हियर dominant, residual and emergent. Another example in the Marxist stance only we can think of is the proletariats and the bourgeois, right? When the proletariat will know that how the bourgeois is treating them, उनको mistreat करा जा रहा है, they will try to rise to the place of bourgeois by revolting against them. ठीक है, तो eventually we will see how this power struggle will keep on being there for times that are yet to come as well, right? What are the strategies and effects? Power is manifested in strategies. Strategically, the person, the group, etc., which is in power is going to influence the others, right? Embodied in state apparatuses. और अगर आप लोग को याद होगा, हमने state apparatuses के बारे में बात करी हुई है, right? So in state apparatuses, we have two types of them. If you know, you need to give me the answer in the comment section below. I'll give you an idea, ISA and RSA. इनमें से कौन सा coercion के साथ है और कौन सा strategically with the mind works is what you need to answer me in the comment section below, right? So we see laws, social hegemonies, hegemony का concept from Gramsci. So that is why these things, hegemony, when people are knowingly, letting the leader etc. और खुद ही choose करके, they know even if they are being treated not nicely, ठीक है, लेकिन वो खुद लीडर को चूज करते हैं. तो hegemony is basically their own self, they have chosen the leader and अपनी मर्जी से ही अपने ऊपर रूल कराना, ठीक है. So that is what we understand by it. Moving forward to post-colonialism and colonial legacy. Historical context में it emerges after the aftermath of independence movement. So we see America में भी, after the independence, the British colonies were removed. Then we see in Africa, then we see in India as well, right, when it gained its independence. Cultural dimension, here we will see the cultural impacts of imperialism become crucial. We need to know how the Babus, the ideas that they have brought forth, how those ideas have shaped in what we think of about our own selves, about our own country, about the things we wear, the things we eat, the things we talk about. ठीक है, English was not a language that was very much prominent during the times of the British, before the times of the British. उनके आने पे ही इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज को इतना इम्पोर्टेंस दिया गया that now it has reached to a level which is globally established one. ठीक है? So Franz Fanon's intervention with his seminal work, The Wretched of the Earth, contributes to colonial discourse analysis. He has written one more work by the name Black Skin, White Masks. So the name itself is trying to suggest that some sort of racial discrimination also being there, right? Emergence of Commonwealth literature. Now what is Commonwealth literature? Commonwealth literature is a group body of literature which is somewhere or the other वो वाला literature होता है तो जिन colonies पे in the areas where the British colonies were established, British or other colonies were established, how they are having some sort of shared cultural experience. अब shared cultural experience क्या होगा? All of them have been colonized. If I try to talk about Africa, India, if I try to talk about America, the way Britain was colonizing them with some sort of policies, etc. So they had the shared common experience of being colonized by a colonizer, right? And how those things later on has shaped their cultural, socio-political stances as well. Increased awareness, power dynamics की awareness की वजह से between West and the third world countries and cultures, third world cultures, the ones which are not properly developed, where unemployment, poverty, etc. still exists, right? Fuels the study and analysis of colonialism's effects, right? So this was all that I wanted to talk to you all about wherever, and whenever the theory of post-colonialism was concerned. If you have any doubts, you can drop down in the comment section below. I will try to reply for sure. Thank you so much and have a good day. Bye-bye.